本期主讲人是来自投资及工程管理部的 Evans Shikunda， 他于2017年1月加入公司，专业是木工，目前担任投资及工程项目主管。他主要围绕投资及工程管理部的职责，介绍了投资项目、维修项目的工作流程、建筑施工流程，以及钢筋工、木工、瓦工、油漆工、管道工等主要工种及具体工艺标准。老师的授课专业，耐心、细致，特别是对人类历史上最伟大的建筑材料混凝土进行了详细介绍，听后受益匪浅。
Good evening, everyone. Okay, I'm welcoming you all to our 2023 Team Building Interactive Forum or Training. So I can see some new faces. For the sake of the new faces, I will introduce myself once again. So my names are Evans Shikunda, supervisor from Engineering Department. And my colleague here is Wise Karifwasa. He's specialized in building. This training will talk or discuss what the engineering department do and how we do them. I'm starting now. So this are the contents that we are going to look into in our training. So the number one, we are going to look at introduction. So under introduction, we are going to look at 20 keywords. So these 20 keywords, they are words that we normally use at our department. Then number two, we are going to look at the scope of works. So under the scope of work, we are going to look at the investment project. What is this investment project and how can you do it? Number two, we are going to look at maintenance project. Then number three, we will look at the basic engineering skills. Then number 3.1, we will look at the process of construction. If you want to construct something, what are the steps that someone has to follow for him to come up with a good structure? Then number 3.2, we will look at each job skill training. Then number 4, we are going to look at project overview. Okay, these are the 20 keywords. So number 1 there, it is investment. Then number 2 is engineering. Then number 3 there, it is foundation. Then number 4, it is project. Number 5, it is maintenance. Then number 6, client. Then number 7, construction. Then number 8, concrete. Then number 9, cement. Then number 10, brick. Then number 11, function. Number 12, design. Number 13, bricklayer. Then number 14, steel fixer. Number 15, painter. Number 16, welder. Number 17, carpenter. Then number 18, plumber. Then number 19, quality control. Number 20, last but not the least, is cost estimation. Okay, for introduction, what is engineering department all about? So our department is the department that is mandated to conduct technical design, construction, and maintenance of physical and naturally built environment. So including works like roads, bridges, canals, and buildings. Our function as a department is to carry out the needed construction work within and outside CCS plant for continuous smooth running of the entire plant system. Then another function is to carry out all maintenance works to existing infrastructure. So now we come to the investment project. Yeah. So now, what is this investment project? So if the company wants to invest a lot of money, that is what we call investment project, because the company maybe wants to expand so that the production can be high. Now, for this investment project, for them to be done, there's a procedure that we have to follow. So the procedure is now what we are calling workflow chart. So the number one procedure is project proposal. The next step, it is approval to implement. After the approval, the next step is construction design. The next step is now drawing overview. So from there now it's project bidding. Now on project bidding, CCS is the client. Then the next step is material plan. After the material have arranged, the next step is now site visiting. Then the next step is acceptance of the data, meaning all things that you have agreed, signed, now you put it into acceptance for the project now to be accepted. So this is the procedure that you have to follow whenever we are doing the investment project. So because the company is spending a lot of money, you have to follow these procedures so that at the end of the day, you have to make sure you put fixed assets, not temporal, but you put fixed assets because it's a huge investment which the company is taking. Okay, we come now to maintenance project. What is maintenance project? As I said, maintenance is provided to already existing infrastructure. Just like a vehicle. When you buy a vehicle, it's not always you'll be driving that vehicle. One day you have to take it to garage for repairing. So even in structures, there is what we call maintenance. There is also procedure whenever you want to do this maintenance project. If you call me, oh Shikunda, come and do this work, I will not come. I normally tell my big boss here, oh, talk to my boss. In short, I'm saying just go and sign the project or maintenance form. So when you sign this maintenance project form, I can send people now to come and do the work. So now, as a department, to execute all these works, it is comprised, number one, planner. Then number two, we have steel fixer. Then we have carpenter. Then we also have bricklayer. We have also the painters. Then we have the welders. We have also the plumber. So the plumbers, they are the one who are making sure all the leakages that are inside CCS, they have to fix the taps so that we are saving water as the company. Then we also have the operators. They are the one who operate pumpunche to transport the tools and materials to the working site. Here we are going to look at the construction process. Number one is measuring. Then there's the next stage that we call earthwork excavation. The third step is cushion layer concrete. The cushion layer concrete, it's about 100 to 120 millimeters. It's just like this. So that now the steel production or the steel people can come in and do his steel manufacturing or steel production. So when the steel people come and do his steel work, then the carpenters, they will come in and do their template supporting. Then the bricklayer, they will come in and do concrete pouring. So after finishing, the next step, maybe after 1 day of putting the concrete, then you come to template dismantle. So after removing those covers, the next step is now earthwork backfilling. After that, obviously you finish your project, now it's delivery of installment. Now here is the basic drawing skill. When you look at this, if you ask maybe people who are here, they will just say maybe this is just a box. Others they will say maybe this is just a curtain. But this is not a curtain. This drawing is showing the 4 stand base support. So when you look here, it is also showing how the steel work has to be done. You have to pay extra careful with these signs. Here, if you notice, there is A, and here there is A. And when you look at this diagram also, there is also AA. Meaning, this side, it is reviewed with this side. So the information which is here, it is equivalent with the information which is there. So this is how to follow the drawing. So if you fail to notice this, you have just to demolish and start afresh. So the drawing is very important. Some 3 years ago, there's a new guy who came to do the work of that chimney. So we presented him with the drawing, the chimney, concrete chimney, so that he can carry out this work. So the payment were agreed, and we said, okay, we are not going to give you the entire payment. After you finish this project, that's when we are going to give you the money. So the guy went and started doing the work. After some few months, he came and said, I'm finished, so give me the money. Okay, let's go and check the work. So instead of finding the chimney was not there. But you are saying you have finished the work. Where is the chimney? He said, come and see. When we went to check, it was just a drainage. So instead of putting the drawing like this, he turned it back like this. So he was just digging it down. So he failed to interpret the drawing. When you are presented with the drawing, you have to follow the drawing carefully so that you can come up with the right structure. Number 2, we will look at the concrete. What is concrete? So concrete is the mixture of stone, sand, and cement. So for it to be called concrete, you have to mix these 3 components. Now in concrete, you find there is C30, C15, C25. In short, they are just referring to the strength of the concrete. So concrete is graded in C. So C30 normally it is what we use in industrial construction, like mining plants. Concrete 7-day strength value is about 70 to 75. After you put the concrete, you leave it for 7 days. In engineering, we call that period curing. Why are you curing? You are curing it to prevent the concrete to develop some cracks. So if you want to prevent some cracks, you have to make sure during that 7 days period, you add water. Then the concrete also, it is divided into 2 sections. So if you put concrete today, within 240 minutes, which is equivalent to 4 hours, the concrete has to start getting strong. Now in engineering, we call it condensation. Within 8 hours, not more than 8 hours, which is 480 minutes, equivalent to 8 hours, the concrete has to get stronger and stronger. Now if you notice after 8 hours it is fresh, just know that there's a problem with your mixture. Maybe the cement which you have used, it has maybe expired, or you have made some problem or error when you were mixing. Maybe it could be that the water was too much. So the cost of 1 cubic meter, it is about $100 US. Per cubic meter of concrete is weigh about 2400 kg. We move on to the steel production. The 2 things that I want you to know or to learn is how to join the steel. So when you want to join the steel, you have just to take this 35. So 35 is the standard number. You multiply that 35 with the diameter of the steel. That's the laps. That's the joint you are going to make. So those are the simple knowledge about how to join the steel. Then if you want to know the weight, you multiply it with diameter times diameter. This is the standard number. In CCS, we have a mixer. So our mixer is capable to make about 100 meter cubic per day. Now, according to the requirement of factory, when you are making the concrete, there is what we call water reducing agent. So water reducing agent, in other English, we call it additives. When you add this water reducing agent, the percent after 7 days, we are going to have 80%. Here is just a table of grade. From C15 up to C30, it is just saying this is the concrete. If you notice this M and M here, there is no stone. So this is not a concrete. This is what we call mortar because there is no stone. The templates. Now this is the work of the carpenter. So these pipe which you are seeing here, their main job, the scaffolds, is just to support or avoid the template to move in its position. So when it is moving, you find that the concrete has gone wire. In Chinese, we call wire. You don't have to forget to water the templates. You have to go and put some water to the templates so that the concrete can come up smooth and also to avoid sacking. Mason bricklaying. So you have to make sure the bricks are laid horizontally, properly. So now, when you ask a bricklayer to come and build, the standard of a bricklayer that can build a day, he has to build not more than 1.8 meter a day. Now we come to the painting or painter. So before you start any painting, the first step is what we call drafting. Now the first paint that you put, we call it primary paint. So when you are painting the steel, this lead oxide, it is what we call primary paint. Why we put this lead oxide to the steel? It is because lead oxide, it prevents the steel to get rust. You have to remember that the paint, it is what we call flammable toxic material. It can evaporate, and when it is evaporate, it dries. So when the paint dries, it means that paint has expired. You can't use it. So to prevent, you have to make sure you are not keeping it in the room where there is a lot of ventilation, and you have to make sure the environment is 30 degrees Celsius. And you have to take note of humidity. So you have to assess the weather. If it is the dry weather, that's when you are going to start or to do your painting. So these are the project overview that has been done, or we can term them investment project. So this is concentrate store project, which was done in 2020 to 2011. The other one is oxygen plant part 2. It was done in 2010 and 2011. The other one is oxygen plant part 3. It was done in 2012 to 2013. Another investment project is flotation plant, which was done in 2011 to 2012. So another investment project is the bismuth project, which was done in 2011 to 2012. Another investment project, it is acid plant part 2, which was done in 2011 to 2012. Another investment project is converter number 4, which was done in 2011 to 2013. Another investment project, it is anode furnace, which was done in 2012 to 2014. Another investment project is the reduction furnace project, which was done in 2013 to 2015. And another investment project is the cobalt project, which was done in 2015 to 2016. Last but not the least, again, we have the tailing dam or tailing pond, which were done in 2015 to 2017.